Welcome to the Intel AI Lounge. Today we're very excited to share with you the precision medicine panel discussion. So I wanted to ask you, it looks like you've been thinking a lot about AI for over the years and wanted to understand, even though AI is just really starting in healthcare, what are some of the new trends or the changes that you've seen in the last few years that'll impact how the AI is being used going forward?
So if you look at the complexity of the data that exists in the genome, in the microbiome, in the health record with free text, and you look at all the other sources of data, like the streaming data from my wearable monitor, I'm part of a research study on precision medicine out of Stanford, there is a vast amount of disparate data, not to mention all the imaging, that really can collectively produce much more useful information to advance our understanding of science and to advance our understanding of every individual. And then we can do the mashup of a much broader range of science in healthcare with a much deeper sense of data from an individual. And to do that with structured questions and structured data is very yesterday. The only way we're going to be able to disambiguate those data and be able to operate on those data in concert and generate real useful answers from the broad array of data types and the massive quantity of data is to let loose machine learning on all of those data substrates. So my team is moving down that pathway, and we're very excited about the future prospects for doing that.
What's really exciting now is that what we were doing before was sort of building these bespoke solutions for different kinds of data,
yes.
Right? NLP, natural language processing, there's a whole field, 25 plus years of people devoted to figuring out features, figuring out what structures make sense in this particular context. Those didn't carry over at all to computer vision, didn't carry over at all to time series analysis. Now, with neural networks, we've seen it at Nirvana and now part of Intel, solving customers' problems. We apply a very similar set of techniques across all these different types of data domains and solve them, right? All data in the real world seems to be hierarchical. You can decompose it into this hierarchy, and it works really well. Our brains are actually general structures, right? I mean, as a neuroscientist, you can look at different parts of your brain, and there are differences. You know, something that takes in visual information versus auditory information, slightly different, but they're much more similar than they are different. So there is something invariant, something very common between all of these different modalities, and we're starting to learn that.
I mean, all three of you are in some ways entrepreneurs, right? And I think it'll be good to talk a little bit about the business opportunity here, where there's a huge ecosystem in healthcare, different segments, biotech, pharma, insurance payers, et cetera. You know, where do you see is the ripe opportunity or industry ready to really take this on?
I want to go at this question a little bit differently. So if this is what a skilled surgeon needs to know at a particular time to care properly for a patient, this area here is where most surgeons are. That is, they're close to the maximum knowledge and ability to assimilate as they can be. So it's possible to build complex AI that can pick up on that one little thing and move them up to here, but it's not a gigantic accelerator or amplifier of capability. But think about other actors in healthcare. Who do you think the least trained actor in healthcare is?
Patients.
Yes, the patients. The patients are really very poorly trained, including me. So the opportunities that I see that are really, really exciting are when you take an AI agent, what sometimes I like to call a contextually intelligent agent or a CIA, and apply it to a problem where a patient has a complex future ahead of them that they need help navigating. And you use the AI to help them work through. Post-operative, you've got PT, you've got drugs, you've got to be looking for side effects. An agent can actually help you navigate. It's like your own personal GPS for healthcare. So it's giving you the information that you need about you for your care. That's my definition of precision medicine.
There's a real confidence problem, right, when it comes to healthcare, for good reason, right? We have doctors trained for many, many years, you know, school and then residencies and other kinds of training, because we are really, really conservative with healthcare, right? So we need to make sure that technology is well beyond just a paper, right? These papers are proof points. They get people interested. They even like fuel entire grant cycles sometimes, right? And that's what we need to happen. And it's just an inherent problem. It's going to take a while to get those things to a point where it's like, well, I really do trust what this is saying, and I really think it's okay to now start integrating that into our standard of care. And I think that's where you're seeing it. It's frustrating for all of us, believe me. I mean, like I said, I think personally, one of the biggest things I want to have an impact, like when I go to my grave, is that we use machine learning to improve healthcare. I really do feel that way.
Well, this has been fantastic. I want to first of all thank all the people here for coming and asking great questions. I also want to thank our fantastic panelists today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.